Welcome, everybody, to the PHDJ podcast with your hosts. My name is Mike.
Yes, and it's Joe Bunn.
And Joe, we have a special guest this week, all the way from Dallas, Texas. Please welcome a man who is slowly disappearing before our eyes, Mr. Nate Nelson.
There he is,
What's
everybody.
up? What's up? What's up?
How are you, Nate?
I'm doing well. I think I'm doing better than Joe is this morning.
Yes, I have a light cold. I repeat.
Joe, you had your staff party last night?
We did, yeah. Took all the gang out, photo booth people, DJs.
What's the total number these days?
22
Nice.
people. Yeah,
cool.
Good times, expensive bills.
And Joe wants to assure the listeners that he is not hungover.
No.
He has a cold. Joe is not you're not a big drinker at all.
No alcohol was consumed.
2019, how many drinks have you had the entire year?
6, maybe.
Wow. Less
You
than I've
had 6 on Tuesday night at the Collective, bro.
There's no way.
Yes,
No way.
There is a way.
It's not. It was Red Bull and something like really weird got me turned on those speakers that night. And really good music. That was a good party.
Great.
Hey,
party.
where are you right now? Are you in like some kind of home office?
Yeah, I'm in my home office. Yeah.
Because it looks like a shrine to you.
Yeah, just this one picture right there.
If you're not watching on video, we not only see Nate, but we see a picture of Nate, and we see Hundo, because that's your nickname, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that a caricature over your shoulder of you?
Yes, that's the actual Hundo when we
So
did
this
the
is-
Hundo Awards.
This is a shrine to Nate Nelson.
It's at home, so nobody can see this shit. So it's
So
okay.
you go in there and you bask in your own glory.
This picture right here is motivation of what Fat Nate used to look like. So it's the first thing I see when I walk in my office, and it's like, never go back.
Very
Nice.
cool. Very
I like
cool.
that.
So I'm assuming that our listeners hear a guy from Dallas and think we are going to talk Cowboys Eagles the whole time, but that's not the case. That's not why we're having Nate on.
I'm
But
scared to talk about that, Mike.
Give us 2 minutes. Yeah. Are you not confident?
I mean, you would think I would be after last week. I mean, we actually demolished the Rams, but in a game that matters, I
Right.
don't trust the Cowboys. I don't trust Jason Garrett to actually hype up a team enough to go do things. And that game on Sunday could have went south really bad if that interception doesn't get overturned. If there's not offsetting penalties,
Right.
we could be looking at going down, and then the doubt sets in, and that team like, oh my God, here we are again. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so prediction, you think the Cowboys lose?
No, I think the Cowboys win, and I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be, the Eagles have had close games the last couple of weeks. I think the Cowboys have had opportunities to win and had a 3-game losing streak again, but then they actually turned a switch. So it's just you just don't know which team you're going to get on Sundays.
Yeah, we've played the Eagles really well the last couple of years, so I'm gonna. These words might come back to bite me in the ass, but yeah, I think we win that one. I don't know, 24-17, some 24-20, something like
24-20.
that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Is this the 1 o'clock on Sunday game?
No, this is the 4:30 on Sunday. I have a 1 to 7 wedding on Sunday, so
Wow.
I'll be missing all of this. So Nate, if you're around and you want to text me with updates,
Absolutely, Mike.
feel free. Especially the good news. I don't want to hear bad news.
You don't have those apps on your phone where you can watch during weddings?
I
'Cause
do,
I'm not going to lie. I have done it.
I'm not going to lie. I've done it as well, but I didn't think the game was broadcast, so I don't know. So we are not talking football on this episode. The reason we have Nate Nelson on is Nate was inspired by our top 40 list that we put together a couple weeks ago. If you haven't listened to that podcast, you should go back and listen to it. And Nate has put together his own top 40 party playlist, correct?
Correct.
Did you use the same criteria that we used? This is top 40 dance songs of all time. So no ballads on this list, correct?
I do have one. So I
Okay.
think it's kind of going to be the last one on my entire list, but it's a song that I probably play every wedding to start. It's my
what
starter.
you kick off your dance floor with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And it's
right.
probably different from what a lot of guys do, but
I was going to say, if I was going to put a song like that on my list, it would be Elvis Can't Help Falling in Love. Is it not that? Don't say what it is.
It is not
okay.
that. No.
So that'll be a surprise. All right.
Yeah.
And so Joe and I usually also put the restriction only one song per artist. Did you also do that?
No, I have 2 by one artist, and I think
MJ?
actually no, I have 2 Lizzo and 2 Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So why don't you give us this list? You didn't put it in alphabetical order. So if you're listening and you have our lists and you're trying to match it up, you're going to have to jumble around, as will I. But why don't you give us this list 5 at a time.
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah, sounds great. So we ready? We rolling?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
We've been rolling.
We've been rolling.
Yeah.
When I said welcome to the PHDJ, but that the clue that we were rolling.
But we did that. We did that twice.
Well, yeah, we did. I was blowing my nose. Right.
That's
Yeah. All right. So number 1 is one of my duplicates here. It's Casey and the Sunshine Band. That's the way I like it.
Wow.
Okay.
Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk. Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics.
Wow.
And Billie Jean, Michael Jackson.
So let's talk about a song like Sweet Dreams. What percentage of your events do you play that song at?
100.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
The OG mix or something else?
I have a short edit. It is the OG, but it's a short edit. So it's about a minute and 35, 40 seconds that I run through it. I just pretty much hit like a chorus and that little bridge, and then I'm out. So
I obviously know what OG mix is. Not really. But why don't you inform our listeners? What do you mean by OG?
The actual one that came out in 1980, whatever year that was, when I was.
Yeah, so when I say OG, I say like it's the original track. There's no redrums. There's no.
So you don't use a
drops
remix at all? Okay.
I mean, it is a track that I downloaded from Direct Music Service that is a shortened edit. So it has an intro and an outro, but it's a minute and 30 seconds long, and it's a quick hitter for me. It's one of those things where I feel like if I can give them just a taste of it, that with today's world with ADD, I'm a quick mixer. I know Nick Spinelli talks about that all the time, but I can run through, I don't know, 40, 50 songs in an hour just by, not really, probably more like 30, 35, but just quick in and out the parts that people know, and then on to the next one.
Dude, I've become the same way with mixing. I agree. Even the greatest song in the world, people are bored with 3.5 minutes in.
Yep.
So I can't remember the last time I played an entire track. And by the way, I got turned on to Direct Music Service at this year's Collective. I signed up for it, and I freaking love this service. I love the fact that you can preview a song before you download it. There's multiple versions of songs, so I can, I don't really love that. I don't love the dropout on this. Ooh, I love that one. I love some of the transition mixes I've downloaded from there. So if I'm in a hip hop set and I want to get up to dance, I've got a couple of transition mixes which will get me there in one song rather than trying to. So I totally agree. And they're not a sponsor, so this is just unsolicited praise. But if you are listening to this and you haven't checked out DMS, sign up for.
I'll give them an N1, but I'll a +1. But I'm also BPM Supreme is definitely same transition mixes, quick edits, short edits, intro clean, intro dirty, like. There's 10 different versions of a song.
So tell me about BPM Supreme, and we'll get back to your list in a second, Nate.
You're good.
Can you sign up for a month there and just download? Oh, yeah. And can you preview songs before you
Absolutely.
download?
And they have an app. So you can do your entire crate on the app, and then when you open your laptop and log into your account, you just take them and drag them all over.
I got to check them out now, too.
So in other words, like if you're running, like you can just pull up their app and just start listening to their top, 100 downloads, just as if.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the same. I use the app for both services. I do have BPM Supreme and Direct Music Service. I tend to feel like DMS is more for the private event guy, where BPM Supreme is more for the club guy that's doing a lot of club edits and drops and things like that. And the thing that I absolutely love about DMS is that the catalog goes back to the 50s and 60s. So you can go get redrums and things like that. And while we were talking at Collective, I had a good conversation with Ryan Willard, DJ Scooter, and he's actually going back and redoing a bunch of Motown stuff right now. So he can re-release all that stuff because there's a lot of stuff that's great on there, but some of those redrums, you just hear that doonch, 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 and it takes away from the original track. And Ryan's actually rebuilding, and his shout mix that's about to drop is fire. People,
he was showing us that at the Collective. He was showing us putting that together, and I was fascinated by the process, but then B, I was like, I want my hand. That was the first thing I checked when I signed up for DMS, but it hasn't been released yet, I guess.
He's finishing it up, and I was talking to him the other day. I was like, yo, you told me that shout mix was going to be dropped last Wednesday. Where's it at? I want it.
I'm eager. I got a gig tonight. All right, so give us your next 5, please.
Okay. Wild Thing by Tone Loc.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think that it's the the 35 to 45-year-old women. Something about that song.
Right.
Tricky, Run DMC. Can't Stop the Feeling, Justin Timberlake. I think this one was on both of your lists. Danza Kuduro by Don Omar. And then Respect, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Cool. And with the Justin Timberlake, do you play, you do the original? Do you have a remix of that?
I play the Scooter Soul Clap mix, and I actually have my own edit of it. So I was playing the track that I downloaded from DMS, but it's one of those ones that it's 3-something, and so I was like, I've got to get out of this song quicker.
Right.
And there is the part at the end of the song where it does that little bridge where it's like boom, boom, just where it's like the drums. And so I go out of that into a song that we'll talk about in my last 5.
All right.
And I'll bring it back there. So
let's talk a little bit more about shortening songs and you're not playing the whole thing. Do you use jump points in any of your songs?
If I ever did, Mike, and I set it up where I had a jump point, if I would look back and make notes while I'm during an event or something, I would go home and throw it in Audition and make that cut. And then there's probably 50 songs in my library that says Nate Nelson short edit, where it's just I was cutting it so many times live that I went back and changed it to make it my own. So
you edited it. Now you're playing the edit, basically.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. So I have a Billie Jean short like that, and I have a Can't Stop the Feeling short like that.
Okay.
Nice.
Your internet froze up, or mine did. I lost some of that. But so here's my argument.
We got it recorded though, Mike.
Okay.
I got it, I think.
So here's my argument for using jump edits. A song like Can't Stop This Feeling, I have a jump cut or jump point, so I can take it from a 3.5-minute song to a 2-minute song. But sometimes I don't want to do that because the song has really gone over. So I like the flexibility of using a jump point, because once you start a short edit, if you realize, oh my God, this is the most popular song of the night, you're still locked into that short edit. So I've set a ton of my songs up with that jump point.
Yeah.
It's basically all I'm doing is going from the second chorus to the third chorus. Usually that's what I'm doing. And it just gives me that opportunity. If this song is banging, then I actually can
let it ride out. Yeah.
But if it's gone over like I thought it would, then I can skip it and make it a 2-minute song. That's my only argument for using jump points as opposed to short edits. All right. What also intrigued me? So Tricky is another popular one.
Yeah. I don't think I use another short edit on that one. So it's just really quick, just bump, 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 and then go straight into it. They pretty much dance around for the chorus, one verse, and I'm out, So, for me, it's just playing the popular parts and keeping the energy as high as I can.
Totally agree. All right, next 5.
Boogie Shoes. That's funny. I didn't have one KC on my list, and you have 2. Wow. Yeah. And Mike, I need to send you this. I've recorded that like opening that I kind of run. That's about 20 minutes. That's got a lot of these in it. That's just pretty much, I know I can keep that energy going for that first 20 minutes and then kind of see where the night goes. But that's the way I like it. And Boogie
remind me,
Shoes
they're both in the teens, right? Like 115, 117.
Yep, 115 for sure. And Boogie Shoes is 120, but that's the way I like it, is like 115.
I think that's an important BPM, because you can use that to get from your hip hop sets into your more traditional dance. If you like, that's what I use Uptown Funk a ton. And what is that, like 114? If I'm down in the 90s, low hundreds, I can pitch Uptown Funk down, get it, and then by the time I'm done with it, I've got it up to about a 122 to get into more dance music. So I think songs in the 1-teens are extremely important for that.
Absolutely. Next, I have September, which I think you both had. I think that
was on both of our lists. Yeah,
that's a must-have.
Industry standard.
And then I didn't realize this. I did have another duplicate here, but Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Michael Jackson. I have a transition edit that I use there. It kind of comes in at 100 BPMs and then brings me up to 120. And I usually come out of my next song, Dancing Queen, into Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. So Dancing Queen, and then Spice Girls Wannabe. That's my next 5.
All right, so I don't know if you can answer this question on the fly here, but let's say you had imposed that restriction on yourself, only one song per artist. Which of the 2 KC songs would remain on the list?
That's the way I like it.
Which of the 2 Michael Jacksons would stay on the list? That's a hard one, because you have Billie Jean and Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, right?
Yeah, Probably Billie Jean.
Okay. I disagree. I think Don't Stop Till You Get Enough just has a little bit more energy for me. And I prefer that song. I play Billie Jean a lot, but I probably play Don't Stop Till You Get Enough a hair more.
Yeah, that's a tough decision, but
Yeah.
I would probably say Billie Jean just because I'm in and out of that song with Ice Ice Baby and Uptown Funk pretty much. That's the two that I sandwich it one way or the other. So
fair enough. Okay. 16 through 20, I think we're at.
Yeah. So Everybody. Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yep. Ain't a Mountain High Enough.
Wow. Okay.
Love that song. Wasn't on my top 40, but I definitely love that song, no doubt.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still, I don't know what it is. Usually that's kind of it's a 125. I'm trying to take it to like the 128, 130, and I'm handing out disco sticks, or the glow sticks at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just people are screaming it, hands up, ain't no mountain high enough with the disco sticks, and I get a lot of great photos from photographers.
Yeah, it is definitely a great single, and it's one of those songs that hits multiple generations because the older people remember it when it was new, and younger people, it's still on radios, and it's a popular song. So, I mean, everybody can sing along with that song. It wasn't in my top 40, but it would certainly be in my top 60 or 70.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next was my other duplicate from Bruno, Finesse. And the reason I play Finesse so much is because I have a sick edit of the Fresh Prince that goes into Finesse. And people just, at first I wasn't a really big fan of Finesse, but in 2019, it really it seems like everybody knows that song now. It's not the most popular Bruno song, but it's like, it really bumps and it really takes my dance floor to a different level, and it's kind of weird. And
you're also combining, you play the Cardi B version, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you're combining two extremely popular. You're getting the Bruno fans, and you're also getting the Cardi B fans, and you're hitting them both. So
for sure.
Cool.
And then next was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is kind of sandwiched. That's one track that I play, but I can't tell you the last time that I played that song and it didn't work. Like,
you're talking about the theme for Fresh Prince.
Yeah, for sure. And if you don't have that track, Mike, I'll send it to you because you should play it.
Why you keep saying Mike? Why are you not sending me anything?
Because as soon as you have everything.
I don't have that.
I don't know what it is. I think Mike's talking more because you're sick, Joe. So I'm just looking at Mike on the screen.
Mike always talks more. You must not listen to the podcast.
No, I do.
He's from New Jersey.
You know what, Nate, somebody recommended that track to me a while back, and I found a remix version, and I stuck it in my party playlist, and I got to be honest, I think I've only done it once or twice. I need to experiment with that song a little bit more.
Yeah. It's so much fun. So what we did, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the last one for this is Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you had any of that. I've been talking a lot about this recently, how that new millennium punk pop or whatever it was called back then is so huge. I actually worked on I put a mix together yesterday that I'll be putting out on Mixcloud in the next week or two. 40 minutes of that kind of stuff, because it's just becoming, I did it for myself because I want to get more familiar with these tracks and the intros and the jump points and things like that. But I'll also share it soon because that music is that's the next 90s pop that's making its revival and becoming extremely popular.
Agreed.
Like, I didn't have it on my top 40, but The Middle by Jimmy World.
I love that.
A ton. All the Small Things. I got a DMS remix of that I've been playing a lot. So that music is it's huge nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. Third Eye Blind, all that kind of stuff is just coming back and making a comeback.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, we at number 21, Despacito. Still
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
see,
works.
It's funny. That was on my list when we did this 2 years ago, Joe.
Yep.
It fell off my list, and then it was on your list, right?
Yep.
So
it wasn't the first time, and then it got added.
I don't know if that's, and I'm not trying to knock either one of your markets, but I don't know if that's a sign that things in the tri-state area are a little bit more hip, and then things get old sooner, and then it takes a while to kind of dissipate around the country. That's probably the logical explanation for that.
I'm just too close to Mexico, so the Latin kind of just stays.
So
really
unlike
popular.
Joe, when was that huge? 2 years ago or 3 years ago? When did it first drop? Were you playing it right away then? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I think I've played it probably 80% of the time of my events for the past 2.5 years.
Yeah. So the year it was hot, it was in my top 40 list, and I played it at almost every party. But since then, it's kind of fallen off that. If I get a request, no doubt, and if I'm playing a ton of Latin, I might work that in, but it's just not in that must play anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Whitney Houston. I Want to Dance with Somebody.
Definitely.
Jaquan, Tipsy.
Wow.
Yes. If you haven't played this in an event in a while, you need to drop it. It's like, I don't know, just especially with that Lizzo Tipsy.
I'm literally adding that to my hip hop playlist right now. Okay.
And there's also, Mike, now that you're a member of DMS, there's I think Scooter made a Truth Hurts Tipsy blend that it's the Tipsy melody and beat with Lizzo singing, and I go from Tipsy to that Truth Hurts sometimes. Okay. But it's just so hard to do that because everybody wants to hear the original OG Lizzo, that intro. They want to hear that piano. Right. And so Push It, Salt and Pepper, and Truth Hurts, Lizzo. So I think that's my next 5.
I've never had good luck with Push It. Joe?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had great luck with
I don't maybe the intro is just too long for me, or I don't know what it is, but I get requests for it from time to time and I play it and I just feel like it doesn't blow up the way I want it to.
Right.
Man, I can come out of like party rock anthem or something that's 120 because it's 128. Anything that's high energy like that and I want to try to get back out, like just run that intro and then drop on that bump, bump.
Yeah, I dump it pretty early.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then Truth Hurts was my last of that 5.
Yeah.
Which has been probably the best song for the second half of the year that I play at all. And I know Joe, you love Lizzo.
I want to end this podcast with some questions about the music for this year, so don't get ahead of me with that. But
you got
it. Joe, you still haven't come around, huh?
I mean, I play it, but it's trash.
But Joe, you could say that about pretty much anything that's come out in the last 5 years, but we still have to play it, right? And your crowds react to it, no?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it's bad music. She sucks.
Do you not like Good as Hell?
Oh, I mean, I'll take that as a step up, and there's an edit on DMS that has Mace feels so good. Yeah, that's a good one. That saved it for me the other night. I was like, at least it has Mace part in it.
Yeah.
Then in it, or it's really Hollywood swinging, I guess, is what it is. Anyway.
So Good as Hell was my other duplicate of Lizzo. I think that Good as Hell has probably been, and we'll talk. I know you said we'll talk about 2019, but Good as Hell's on the list. Sierra, 1-2 Step.
Wow, another one that's probably not even on my top 100.
It's because it's like I feel like the 90s and that late 90s, early 2000 retros coming back. Like that's one that really is popping with the mid 30s right now. Like. And there's a couple different remixes that I can do. There's one that's got the Duro 5 More Hours. Yeah, that one goes really hard. It depends on what kind of wedding I'm rocking, but I feel like I could play the OG or a remix of 1-2 Step and kill it every time.
I'm glad I've got my Serato open because I've literally added 2 songs now to my playlist.
Nate Nelson will get you right.
Yep, that's right. Well, maybe not because if I try them and they fail,
then I'm going to get get a text and be like, this song blows.
There's going to be 4 people on a dance floor. I'm going to go, what the fuck are you talking about?
Jump Around, House of Pain.
I think that was on both of our lists.
Yeah. Let Me Clear My Throat. Was that on both of y'all's lists?
I think so. I know it was on mine. Yeah.
And then my last one of this 5 was Miss New Booty, Bubba Sparks.
Wow. Booty.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. So I've been doing a Master P, Make 'em Say, and then I run that, Make 'em Say, and it does it on the last, it goes, Make 'em Say, you gonna take me home tonight? And then I just do the intro to Fat Bottom Girls. And then right before the guitar hits, it goes booty, 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 rocking everywhere. So I'm kind of playing on ass and running straight into.
God, I got a request for that song recently and I played it and I was like, I don't even remember the song, but it really went over well. So I should add that one too.
Yeah, got pretty big.
Yeah,
that song was pretty big.
Miss New Booty is it's a must too for me. And then Here's one that is, I guess you could call this it's not like a hype party song, but that so much that the 2000s and the 90s are coming back. T-Pain, Buy You a Drink is literally been like a must recently, and it's just been fire.
And that's on your list as well?
Yeah, that's my next one. Buy You a Drink, T-Pain. I'm probably playing that more this year than I have in 10 years.
Wow.
And that was like when I first started DJing, that was like one of my favorite songs to play at a club, you know? So everybody sings it. So,
yeah. It's a great song.
Yeah. Next up.
I got 2 events this weekend, so I'm going to try some of these out.
Here we go, Michael.
All right.
The Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize. I know you guys talked about that a couple weeks ago that I think, there's something about that intro and just, you know, I think, Mike, you were talking about instead of mixing songs, just kind of having that cold start on different songs. And that's one that you just have to.
Because if you mix, unless you have a remix, but if you mix and get by that intro, you've cheated yourself because the intro is all that matters there. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Next up is Return of the Mac.
I love
Mark
that
Morrison.
song.
And I play that out of the wobble if I play the wobble. And that's a rare. Most of the time it's either must play or do not play. It's not I don't care.
Right.
So, it's usually I love it or I hate it. And I need to show you guys if you are wanting to play that, they're both 95 BPMs on that. At the break on wobble where it's like doon to do to doon to doon to doon to do. Oh, at that end, I do that and I'm doing that bump, 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 bump. And then so he's saying, oh, and then the intro is whoa. So it's a word.
The original version of Return of the Mac, right?
Yep. Original.
Yeah, right.
OG. Yeah, straight out of wobble.
Yep.
Yeah, Return of the Mac is one of those what I call like coming out of dinner songs. I have a number of songs that to me are like the mid-tempo, coming out of dinner. I talked about it at a seminar or a while back. Africa is an example of that. It's non-committal. If nobody gets up and dances, then fine. I'm going to now open up traditionally with a slow song. But a lot of times that gets a dozen people on the dance floor, and then and Return of the Mac is one of those songs. It's to me, it's just got that great bop kind of, and sometimes it'll pack my dance floor without me even saying a word,
Yeah.
Yep.
I lost track where we're at in your.
Yeah, I did too.
We're on, this will be number 35 right here, and it's DMX. So we're gonna
culminate this with that slow song that you teased us with.
Yeah, it'll be the last one. It's the last one on my list. So 35 is DMX Party Up.
Great song.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah, you're similar to Joe. You have more hip hop on your list than I have on my list. But that would be like that's in my hip hop party playlist, but it didn't make my top 40.
Well, I'm the most urban person in the podcast right now, I'd probably say. I get told that quite often.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, last 5, Apache.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm really quick in and out of that, probably 30 seconds max.
I have an edit that this kid that used to work for me made that took the rap out of it completely. So it's literally called Joe Bunn's Zero Rap Edit because nobody cares about those verses.
Right. You could kill it. And it's like, bam, everybody's going. And then the rap hits and it's like, come back. Come back.
I'll send you that.
Word. Mejente, J Balvin, which maybe more of being in Texas, close to Mexico. Still play that a lot.
Song. I do too.
And I think this one fell off your list, Mike, but it was on yours, Joe. Icona Pop. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah. I still play that a ton. It just didn't make my top 40 this time around. But yeah, I still play that a ton.
And if you have a Rager wedding, Janai has a sick edit on DMS. It's called I Love Bonkers. And if you remember that one, I don't think it's a clean edit, but I've made a clean edit because I went through and edited out shit because he had a drop. But I think the only thing it says is I threw your shit into the whatever.
That's right.
I edited the shit part out, and it's good. Play that funky music.
Wow. Okay.
Love that one.
Yep. And then the last one, my 40th song, what I start my dance floors with 90% of the time. I like to start with a slow
You're talking
dance.
about at a wedding. Hold on.
At a wedding. At a wedding.
Go ahead.
My Girl by the Temptations.
See, you and Mike call it a slow song, and I don't. That's so funny.
Yeah, because you said what they shagged to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nate, you have a few what I would call no-brainers that aren't on your list. So let me just ask you about a few of these.
Okay.
Journey, Don't Stop Believing. Do you play that at most of your events or not?
I did probably 17, 18. I feel like every client that I talk to now will tell me they don't want it because they hear it at every wedding.
And so because of that, even if you have a client that doesn't say that to you, you're going to avoid it because you assume that other people feel the same way.
Yeah, and I know you like that. You have that up-tempo remix that you play of it, Mike, and I've never really been a fan of that one. And I feel like that's a song that you got to have OG on. Like, you just got to play the OG of Don't Stop Believing. And if I do play it, it's going to be my last song of the night or last 3 or 4. But I could probably go back and look at my history from 2019, but I probably only played it 5 or 6 times this year.
Which, by the way, I'm so excited that Serato finally has a play count.
The play count thing, yeah.
I've only been using it for a couple of weeks, so it's not accurate to me. But like, I'm psyched that this time next year I can look back at my play count and see, you know.
Well, I've been on Rekordbox for 5 years, so Rekordbox has had a play count. So I know that you guys are all like, oh. So when I went through and was making this list, I went through and looked at like my top played, and that's how I kind of got I looked at play count.
Another one I would ask you about, Shout is not on your list.
Shout works. I don't play it as much as, it depends. If I have an older couple, I'm going to play Shout. Most of my bride and grooms are between 24 and 28. So straight up, you play 1-2 step more often than you play Shout. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably play Shout at almost every event, and like I said, I think I've played 1-2 step maybe 5 times.
Yeah, I feel like if I need it, I will play Shout. It's one of those like Cuba Shuffle wobbles. If I need it, I'll play it, but I don't tend to play a lot of the stuff that everybody hears at weddings.
And Shout.
What's up?
And along the same line, Twist and Shout.
Twist and Shout, never.
Never.
Yeah, really. I may have played it once this year, and I think I played it at a corporate event 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay, great stuff. I think if you compare all 3 of our lists now, listeners, you've got you've got a lot. My fear when I first proposed this idea to Joe a couple years ago was that they were going to be virtually identical,
right?
And that would have been a boring show. And so now you've got a third take on. Nate's got a lot of songs that aren't on my list, and a lot of songs that are on my list, and Joe's list aren't on his. So I think you can probably take all 3 of our lists and now have a top 70 list from the 3 of us. So I think that's pretty cool. Good stuff. Nate, thanks for taking the time to do that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's finish with a little bit. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just like, we came to the collective, and I was just coming off of like listening to your podcast for this, and we've talked about this, Mike. But when you guys did this a couple years ago, it was like my favorite episode, and I took a lot of notes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this, and I never sat down and did my top 40 list.
Yeah.
And then we were first day collective. I think we were just catching up. We were at the bar. I was like, I want to come on the podcast and give you guys my 40 because there's so much stuff that you guys didn't say that I play all the time that I feel like are bangers. And so. It's good to get different perspectives and kind of see what people are doing. And I love how you guys compare and contrast it. And so I was excited to be able to present this with you guys today.
Cool. Very cool. So 2019, year in music. What do you think? You kind of teased it earlier. You think what Truth Hurts is the song of the second half of the year?
Yeah.
Would you call it the song of the year?
I probably would. I think that there's no other song that hits a dance floor harder that came out in 2019 than Truth Hurts.
Joe?
He's probably right. If we're being honest, Old Town Road was huge for a second. So was the Get Up,
But now it's like you can't play those because everybody's like, nope. No. And I can still play Truth Hurts. And
I know, that's what I'm I know probably somebody on here want me to argue with you, but I really can't. I'm looking at the list of the top, it looks like 60 songs of 2019 that Randy sent me on a spreadsheet, and I highlighted some stuff. And
most of them you wouldn't play, I feel like.
I wouldn't, man.
By the way, shameless plug. Did either of you have an opportunity to listen to? I did a 2019 mix the other day.
I have not yet.
54 songs in 2 hours. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
I'm going to listen to it on my way into the office today for sure.
Cool.
I always go back and listen to when people post mixes, especially if they're friends of mine. And
any listeners who want to check that out, I have now moved my content over to Mixcloud. So I've got 2 strikes on SoundCloud.
I saw that.
I'm predicting the day that they freeze my account or cancel my account. So if you followed me on SoundCloud, please switch over. Find me on Mixcloud. I'm DJ Mike Walter, and I've only got 5 or 6 mixes up there now, but I will be populating those as we go.
I wanna just touch briefly though on something from the other night. So let's see, when was this? Saturday night. For both of my holiday parties last weekend were 1,600 people, and so the story for Saturday night was, Epic Games is here. Epic Games makes the Fortnite. That's actually here in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And they were on a string of hiring and firing holiday party DJs. In fact, they brought in The Game, the rapper The Game from LA. Sure. They brought in his personal DJ last year. The guy played records, not Serato, records, and wouldn't take requests. Wow. He almost left in a body bag. Another guy I know here in Raleigh had done it for a few years, wasn't connecting, and they ended up, getting me. And they said, there's going to be 1,600 people. Here's what's happened in the past. And on the conference call about a week before the wedding, the girl goes, if I hear apple bottom jeans, I'm going to kill somebody. And I went, and in my head, I'm like, there is no doubt 1,000% I would have played that.
Right.
So now I'm panicking. You know what I mean? Because I know the history. Excuse me one second.
He's got to blow his nose again.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm panicking. So I start calling up Brian B., and he kind of gave me some advice. And then I got with Randy. He gave me some advice. And then I get Digital Dave on the phone. And he goes, I'm going to explain it to you like this, Joe. He goes, you're going to have – and this was a 3.5-hour dance set. This wasn't some bullshit, raffle this, president speak this. You're going to play an hour. Right. This was 3.5 hours. Like, you best go as hard as you can go. And Digital Dave said, let me explain it like this, Joe. He goes, if the aunt of the bride would have asked for that song at a wedding, don't play it. So I didn't play Prince. I didn't play Michael. I didn't play Low by Flo Rida. I didn't play Uptown Funk, 24 Karat. But, dude, when I'm telling you I played for 3.5 hours harder and faster, I played the perfect set. And I dropped a nuclear fucking bomb
and
on that party.
And you didn't record it, did you?
That's what I was about to say. Did you record it?
Damn it, Joe.
Didn't hit record a bit because all I could think was, and I thought to myself, even at the beginning, there was at that hour 60-minute point where I went over the hump and I go, I've got these people to the point where I can play 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton, and it is going to absolutely rip the ceiling fan out of this place.
Would you at least publicly put out your playlist?
1,000%, yes.
Print out your playlist. You use Serato, right?
I do. I have the history.
So go into your history, print that, and share that in the comments of this.
I dropped a nuclear
because I would prefer to hear the mixes, but I would love to hear I'd love to check out the playlist.
I couldn't even go back and record that thing in a studio as clean as I played that party. And dude, already booked next year. Gave me a $600 tip on top of an already enormously large bill.
$6 tip.
Yes.
Nice.
Record. 450 was my previous record.
Wow.
600.
Wow. 600 is my record too.
Yeah. It was an absolute banger. And I mean, it felt like what Mike probably feels like after he runs one of those like crazy long races. Like at the end, I was just
that like, I am king.
But also like I'm exhausted. Like my brain had just like hyper jumped through 2 decades. I mean, all that pop punk, like Semi-Charmed Life. I mean, it was a masterpiece. Like at the end of it, I looked at the kid. I had a kid with me, and he filmed a bunch of it. And I looked at him, and I was like, I just dropped an absolute masterpiece.
Is that the one where you were set up in the snow globe? You had told us about that.
No, that was
this
different.
Was this the one where you had the lighting and you posted the cool ass lighting picture? And Colin showed up, and you were like, "The kid's here, the roadie's here, or whatever." No, different one.
That was the week before that. Okay. I mean, I was on a streak. I've been on the grind, like. Nice. And it ain't over yet. But that party and that comment from Digital Dave, I know he listens to this. Shout out to Digital Dave. That comment was the absolute thing I needed to hear going into that party.
You have to for corporate. And I think Dave said something to me like that too. We were talking about the difference in wedding and corporate. And if there's like the wedding favorites that your mom or these people are going to come up, don't play that shit at a corporate party because and especially what's the age demographic of Epic?
They're young, man. They're kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're coders, they're artists, they're designers, you know. They're not, you know, they're where the accountants and the, you know, higher ups and stuff there, but they don't care about the party. These people,
accountants aren't going to dance no matter what you play, so ignore them. Yeah.
Now, Joe, let me ask you this: at some of your Mike, I'd like to get your take on this too. So I had a party that I've done for 5 years, Saturday night, and it's usually 700-800 people. It's one of my favorite events of the year, and it is a 3.5, almost 4 hour. I think I started dancing at 10, and we went till 1 a.m.
Wow. Yeah.
So what's that? 3? Yeah.
3.
And about an hour in, one of the executives that hires me, her name was on like the check, you know, whatever. Yeah. She comes up and says, "Hey, can you stop playing these clean versions? We want to hear that. We want." Oh. And so I'm like, sure. Yeah,
fucking
like,
I guess.
Let's go. Let's do this. And you know, I played "I Don't Fuck With You," and then it was like very like. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
I can't either.
Like, you know, but everybody's like screaming, singing, going ham, and it was one of those moments where I was like, I feel like I should be playing a club right now.
Right. That's what Dave said. He goes, you got to think about this. You got to play this like a club, man.
Like
you're you got to get out of your own head. Because I was shook, man. I'm telling you, I was nervous. I knew the history of all these DJs coming and going, and that whole thing about, you know, apple bottom jeans, I'll kill somebody, and I was like, man, like I was gonna play that. Like that was coming out.
So, can I make a comment though?
Yes.
I love the fact that you were nervous about it, that you cared about it, and you sought some advice from people.
I called multiple people.
How much you care. You didn't just take that comment and then go, okay, whatever, I'll blow this gig up. I don't need any. You put some time into thinking about it in advance. You sought some experts
and Scooter.
On it. So
Scooter. I called Scooter too.
Yeah, I respect you so much on that, Joe.
So you know Dave's going to hit you up and ask for a percentage of that $600 tip.
No, you know what
Joe?
he wants? You know what he wants? He wants the swag bag that they gave me full of Fortnite stuff for his son.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm trying to get it away from Davis, like sneak it out of his room and just ship it to Dave.
That works.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, this was an extra long.
Yeah, it was. Uh-oh. Y'all broke up.
I'm here.
Hold up, Mike. What happened to Mike?
I don't know.
Hold on.
I started doing a wrap up and I froze up.
Start that over and then edit this out.
Okay.
You go, all right, guys, and then we lost.
All right. All right, guys. This was an extra long podcast. Nate, thank you so much for coming on. We really
thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you so much.
T.O., before we sign off, Mike, is this the last live recording?
Yeah. So next week we're gonna replay our favorite Christmas carols of the year. So the next time you hear Joe and I live, it will be 2020. It'll be a brand new, not only a brand new year, but a brand new decade, man. How cool
crazy. Happy holidays, everybody. Nate, happy holidays,
to you,
man.
Guys. Yeah,
I love you, bro. Thank you for being on.
Everyone down at LeForce. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
Go Cowboys.
Let's go. I'll pull for them. See y'all.
See ya.